Hey guys, welcome back, and now we're going to go into Phase 2 of Marvel Madness with Iron Man 3. Probably the worst Iron Man. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I would argue this is probably the worst out of the every Marvel Cinematic Universe movie.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean after watching it, because I watched it once last year, and then I watched it again while doing this, and I was like, man, I don't really like this that much, and especially because I I don't know Iron Man's lore that much, but
Right.
I know why people really hate this movie. Spoilers, by the way. It's
Yeah.
because the Mandarin.
They fucked up the
Yeah, the
Mandarin.
Mandarin's not real. He's a fictional character, and
Well, I
like,
mean, well, of course he's a fictional character. He's a comic book
well,
character.
no, I mean like fictional in the fictional universe.
Shit. Too deep. It's too deep. This is a comic book movie. It's not supposed to be this deep.
Yeah, but they build him up, and then they just sort of make him this like hokey actor. And the first time I saw it, I was like, "Oh, okay, that's why people hate this movie." And then the second time, I was like, this was really stupid of them to do.
It was really dumb.
Yeah,
Because it would not have been nearly as bad if the Mandarin was introduced and debunked in this movie, but the Mandarin was implied in the first Iron Man movie. Going that far
yeah.
back, they were
Though
like,
there is an interesting thing. I was actually reading up on the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and apparently in the there's a one shot that they did with the actor Trevor, who he's called in the movie, of where there's this guy making a documentary about this actor who played the Mandarin,
mhm.
and he was like interviewing him at prison, and apparently the guy interviewing him and making the documentary was a member of the Ten Rings, so he was there to assassinate him. But apparently there's also a comic book tie-in for this, and apparently the Mandarin is actually real, but they don't say it in the movie.
Remember how we were just saying how shit gets really
Yeah,
convoluted? This is what we're talking about. It's already started.
yeah,
I mean, okay, if you're gonna fucking have the Mandarin actually be real, because the Mandarin's one of like Iron Man's big rogues gallery kind of guys. If he's actually still gonna end up being real, like why even bother using a fake Mandarin in this movie other than to be a
yeah. Though it's
gigantic
like
asshole?
because it was what's his
Yeah.
name from AIM, who was yeah Aldrich Killian, who was setting this whole thing up to because basically because Iron Man, not Iron Man, but Tony Stark, he like snubbed him at a
Right.
party pretty
Yeah.
much.
I mean, I understand from like an in-universe explanation, but I'm saying like as the guy writing the script for this movie,
Yeah,
if you're still gonna have the Mandarin be an actual villain later on in like Iron Man 4 or 5 or something, why would you even bother cock slapping everybody like this?
yeah,
Like it's dumb.
yeah,
But I mean, even more, there's like more comic nerdy things for fanboys to get butthurt about. This movie's kind of loosely based on the Extremis story arc of
hmm,
Iron Man, and it's not really faithful to it at all. I mean, in the I haven't read the Extremis arc, but my dad did. He was like really like butthurt about this movie when we went to see it because he was ready. He was ready for to see the Extremis arc, and I guess in that
I'm
like
getting hot.
I mean, no, fucking speaking of hot, the fire breathing motherfuckers in this movie,
Yeah,
but like that's the only power that the Extremis people have, and the Extremis thing is about like speeding up evolution. I think was what we were talking about because we haven't talked about this movie since it came out. Just
yeah,
on
like the
and they all
because
have different kinds of powers,
the
not
extremist
just
thing, um the way Aldrich kind of plays it up is that it can regrow limbs
hmm
for amputees and whatnot. So
It's a good thing we've never seen
yeah,
someone go wrong trying to do that before. Kurt Connors twice.
yeah,
And I guess like Iron Man and the Extremist is apparently like he uses the Extremist on himself, and he can like m- communicate with technology and like like he can like communicate with computers like telepathically or something like weird like that. Like he can interface with technology. That's how the extremist affects him.
Huh.
And so like eventually like I guess for at some point I don't know if it still is like the Iron Man armor was stored in the hollows of his bones, so it was always on him, so he could turn into Iron Man at will, like wherever he was. Yeah, it was some crazy ass comic booky shit.
Yeah, because I know in the beginning of this movie he's actually experimenting with
Right, the like implants.
yeah, the implants where he can actually call the armor.
Mm-hmm. I think that was their version of it, like significantly less comic booky.
Yeah.
And just like it's in the
Like still comic booky, but you know,
still
less
very
comic
booky,
yeah.
but less like Jesus Christ. And then this movie had the kiss of death in it too. It had a kid.
Yeah.
Which
though the kid wasn't too
granted,
bad, but
the kid could have been so much worse.
He could have been so much worse.
The fact that
yeah.
Tony just is like, "Fuck you, kid," made it much more bearable. But it had a kid, and it didn't need a kid.
Yeah.
Why did Tony end up in Tennessee? He's just like,
yeah,
Jarvis malfunctioned.
Yeah, well, I actually before that happened, because Tony actually told Jarvis to map something to Tennessee because he was going there to find something, and I can't remember what it was, but it was like right before the missiles like started to destroy his house, and then he forgot that he programmed Jarvis to do that. So,
but he just did it anyways after like all the explosions and shit. Just like,
yeah.
Oh, we're going to Tennessee now. That was weird. And then one of the dumb things is that like we always like we know that like the Iron Man suit is powered by the arc reactor.
Yeah.
Where it gets its power from. But then like he's like charging it up with like electricity.
Yeah, it's like, huh?
Doesn't work. And it's like, no, but my arc reactor has no power left. I'm just like, well, then you can't use the suit and you're gonna fucking die again. But you're here for like X amount of time and you're okay.
Yeah.
And then another weird thing, and like this is just me being like a traditional like comic book enthusiast, I guess, because I don't think a lot of other people would give two fucks about this. Tony just caps motherfuckers left and right in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, he kills like 20 dudes. I'm just like, superheroes don't kill people. And like I get even okay, so this is me being like totally like 90s kid, you know, when like superheroes use laser guns and stuff and nobody died. But like I guess like I understood more with Captain America because like even that took me by surprise.
Yeah, I mean that's World War
II,
so
yeah. But like even in Avengers, when Cap just picks up like an M16 and starts dropping dudes on the aircraft carrier fight, it's like Captain America doesn't shoot people. But like it's just I don't know. It's someone who read comic books as a kid, like from back in the day, like to see like these characters just like dropping motherfuckers like it's their job, just took me by surprise. But especially Tony Stark in this because he's not a soldier, he's just a dude, and like. The first movie was very much him wanting to get away from weapons and not wanting to like. He says all the time like the Iron Man armor isn't like it's not really designed to like kill people, and like he went out of his way to like not kill anybody in the first movie. Like he tranked all the fucking dudes that were holding those people hostage in the first movie. The first time he takes the Iron Man armor out into the Middle East, but in this he's just like I'm gonna shoot you, throw a grenade at you, I'm gonna shoot you, then I'm gonna kill you. I'm just like everybody's just fucking dying. What happened? This whole movie feels weird too because it's done by a different director.
Yeah.
Than the last two, or at least the last one. I don't know. I don't pay attention.
You know it's funny because like a lot of trilogies do that. Like X-Men did that. Terminator did that.
You'll sign your actors on for 9 movies, but you won't sign your director on to do your fucking trilogy. God damn it.
Yeah.
But no, it felt totally different in terms of the writing. The score felt a lot different. Though it felt like a much more like a cheesy superhero movie, like in terms of the music. At least to me, it felt like
especially like the beginning credits. I forgot that. Friggin' I forgot the name of the song, but it's like the blue song "Dabba Dee Dabba Die."
Yeah. I mean that one set the tone because it was supposed to be back in the 90s.
Yeah, 1999. So
happened. So I mean that was more interesting, but like the whole score felt like they had like the really cheesy cliche like swells when things happened. It felt like the soundtrack for Iron Man 3 reminded me a lot of The Incredibles because The Incredibles was kind of making fun of like the whole like superhero tropey kind of like swelling scores when things happened, but this one was playing it totally straight and it felt really weird. And then it also took me by surprise how Tony was like narrating the entire movie. I mean, the after credit scene explains why that's happening. But like
Yeah.
when you open your movie like that, it's like this movie feels totally different from the last two. It
Yeah.
feels very disconnected because of a different
Yeah,
direction. Like,
and the thing is, like, he actually gets his shrapnel out of his heart at the end of this movie,
Mhm.
and like
The ending
apparently Robert Downey,
sucked.
yeah, apparently I can't say Robert Downey Jr. Apparently he wasn't going to be on for any more movies, but then he realized that he couldn't do anything else for a while.
He's been typecast.
Yeah, because like I think the movie he did after this was The Judge, and apparently The Judge was horrible.
See, the whole thing is like with that whole like ending and just like I'm gonna give up the mantle, I'm gonna destroy my legacy so I can be with my woman. To me, just felt like, so you guys saw Dark Knight Rises, and we're like, we need to do that with our big guy. We need to give him a nice classic send off. And I'm just like, that ending sucked in Dark Knight Rises, and it sucks here too.
Yeah,
Good job, guys. It was dumb. I mean, Tony has such an ego. He wouldn't just do that. And then the fact that like these suits kind of fall apart, like at the slightest provocation.
I
In this
know,
movie
right?
is weird. The fact that they all can be like self-destructed at will, and it's just like, okay, so you have this program that allows you to summon all of your Iron Man armors and fight for you, and you use that at the end of the movie. Why didn't you use that at your house when you're being attacked by helicopters? Couldn't you have just gone doop, 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 and then you had like 50 guys fighting the 3 helicopters and saved your house?
Yeah.
Why didn't you do that? They didn't even have to fly halfway across the country. They were right downstairs! It was stupid.
Well, so another thing I wanted to mention is that AIM is established in this, and as I've told you that I've been watching the Avengers cartoon on Netflix, and AIM is like a big part of it. And the leader of AIM in that is MODOK. And
Yes.
oh, I see somebody in the background.
Someone's in the background recording something.
Oh shit!
You
I'm
fucked it
sorry.
up!
Oh, dude,
No, it's
I'm
fine.
sorry. I had no idea.
What's
Sorry
up?
about that, man.
You need something?
No, the barbecue's all done.
Oh, okay. Well,
Come get it while it's hot.
I'll be up when we're done talking about shit.
You can have barbecue too if you want.
Okay.
We're talking about how Iron Man 3 wasn't as good as Iron Man 2. Very well.
It was not. Yes, Iron Man has phobias. I get it. I read a whole movie about it.
See?
And Pepper Pot saves the day. Really? Come on.
God, the whole house is coming downstairs all of a sudden.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll wrap this up, but yeah, I want to see MODOK in a movie. Is what I was going to say, because that's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, MODOK would be cool, and then like to tie it back with Incredible Hulk, they had inklings that the leader is going to show up at some point as well. Which, if they ever do another Hulk movie,
Yeah.
that would be fun. But yeah, they have all these like low tier characters that nobody knows about. Actually, people know about MODOK. He was in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. So.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I just think he would be ridiculous to be on the big screen, and that would be awesome.
I would watch it.
Anyway, so Iron Man 3 not as good as Iron Man 1 or 2.
It was kind of a disappointment.
Yeah. But next time we'll talk about Thor: The Dark World, which is the sequel to Thor. So, see ya. Bye.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, by now we're getting a bit used to winter. We're like soldiers in the middle of a campaign, growing hardened to discomfort and better able to take